Hello, comrade peers. When the pandemic hit us, one reaction was to get this book. Charles Grant's Programmed Wargame Scenarios, 2nd edition. I think I read about it in the Wargames Illustrated or Wargame Soldiers in Strategy, and it sounded promising. If you try out many control systems and rule systems, you have to be prepared to tackle some of them solo. Back then, people had no idea how bad times would become during the pandemic for playing wargames. The Battle of Eggmühl, the second day, was the first game to try Mr. Grant's system out. I will add a link at the end of this video. And the attacker's programming worked surprisingly well. I also use the system for several other videos. Also, I usually play solo without this aid, or better, without the full system. What does programmed wargame scenarios have to offer? At first, I will tell you what you get. 167 pages in black and white with some flavor pictures of soldiers in different periods. The author introduces the entire system step by step. Also, you don't have to use everything. He begins with a map. Every scenario has a map generator to present you with some more random feature without sacrificing logic for randomness. Each map consists of 3 times 3 pieces. 3 times the left flank, the right flank and the middle, all of which do not differ too much from each other. You don't know beforehand where which piece of terrain exactly is, but you do know the basic nature of the battlefield. The next step is to randomize your armies, again for every scenario and for every era within reasonable limits. These are listed in the annex for 3 periods: ancients, horse and muskets, and modern. The existing data is generic and sufficient to be able to be implemented quickly for all systems. This is followed by the programmed behavior of the opponent. In every scenario, there are certain trigger points built in, where the enemy reacts. You only read the passages when the reaction is triggered, and therefore have relatively unexpected results. For example, if you try to cross a river, the opponent will unleash his cavalry reserve to push you back, or he will send his infantry center forward. Then follows a chapter for more randomness in these scenarios by giving your opponent a bit of character: cautious, deliberate, bold or rash. In addition, there is a card draw system for random events using a normal card deck of playing cards. I used this in the World Avant Take the Hills video. Link at the end of this video. Last but not least, there are ideas for third force, for example, local population. Will they keep neutral, support one side, or switch sides at the first sign of danger or opportunity? After this introduction to the general system, follow 18 scenarios and 2 mini-campaigns, the main part of this book. All scenarios are written for 2 players, blue and red, and can be played by the solo player from both perspectives. So there are more likely 36 scenarios and 4 campaigns for a solo gamer. 10 of the scenarios are from the attack-defense type, and 8 are confrontation scenarios, like the usual meeting engagement or some ambush situations. There should be something for every idea or opportunity. Of course, you can also use this book as a collection of scenarios for the usual two-person game to try out new scenarios. It is precisely when you look at the work as toolbox for your games that its possibilities really become apparent. One idea I like is to amplify the importance of the commanding general in the game. Like in Black Powder, Drums and Checo's Large Battle, or Absolute Emperor. Instead of the obligation to stay in the command radius of the overall commander, or some boni, which you get if you are in this radius, lower ranking commanders outside his radius of commandment could start behaving according to their own agenda. They behave like a programmed opponent, instead doing what you want. That would give the command-in-chief, who usually stands for the player, some more meaning again. I hope to be able to provide an explicit example here when I get the chance. But that will take some time. Hope you enjoyed this and maybe you picked up a few ideas. Do you have any experience with Mr. Grant's book? Or have you already used it in some way? Let me know it in the comments. Till then.